Welcome to the PA class. Today, we're going to talk about the government and nonprofit relationship.
行政学这堂课呢，主要是希望教授学生了解政府的功能，以及呢，政府在治理或遇到的契机与挑战。
So the first theory is the agency theory. So here you can see on the setting of the agency theory, you have one is principal and another one is agent.
这个堂课主要是有大概12到16个主题。那在这个主题呢，我们每周会有一个主题周。主题周呢，进行方式是以3个单元。第一个是以授课方式，第2个单元是以可能个案啊、这个模拟以及辩论的方式进行，主要就是用互动的方式来学习。那第3个呢，是用维基百科的这个 group project 的方式来学习。有的时候我们也会配合参访、校外参访，让他们实际到公部门，例如我们曾经有到过考试院。或者是市政府有去参访。那我们原则上呢，就是先是主要就是有这个 lecture， 也就是讲课20分钟到30分钟左右，中间也会有这个问题的穿插，可能问同学一些议题。
And because they both have self-interest, and in addition to that, there's a asymmetric information. Because of these two assumptions, so the agent might not deliver what the principal actually wants. Right? So the agency theory derived from when the principal agent both have self-interest and those self-interests are not necessarily aligned with each other, then you have to be careful. In addition, there's a asymmetric information assumption.
那再来呢，就是有这个活动，这个活动呢会以个案的方式进行，或者是呢会以这个模拟以及辩论。那在个案的过程之中呢，就是以问答，学生会先阅读一个个案。那在这个过程之中，我们就会以问答的方式，开场的问题，有这个厘清的问题，以及这个关键核心外包需要考量条件的问题，以及最后呢，他们做决策里面需要考量的一些 framework 的运用的问题，和最后的 conclusion 的 question， 这些的题目来跟同学做一个问答。那这是属于一种个案教学法，通常会大概是半小时40分钟。
So the first opening statement and opening question, the Mayor Goldsmith is facing a decision of reducing the size of the government by privatizing some government services at the beginning of his mayoral term. So this is quite challenged because he first become the mayor, the first month he's already facing such a decision to deliver his campaign. I want you to first think about, this is a simple question. Usually the first question is a simple one. What are some of the public services in your home country has been privatized that you are aware of? Okay, any other example?
Yes.
In Chile, everything that comes with water, it's completely privatized.
Great, that's a good example. So you've seen the water services being privatized. So this case makes a lot of sense. The second question, how many of you went to public school? How many of you went to private school? Private school. Which one better? Why do you choose public or private school? Yes.
In France, it's better public usually, but in Chile, it's way better private. So it depends.
Yeah, I made both. When I was really younger, I go to the public, and after I then go to private. Honestly, I think that both are not so great now currently.
Okay.
But private is still better.
I went to a Christian school, so that's what my parents wanted. So in a public school, I wouldn't have been able to learn about Christianity.
Okay, excellent. So you guys mentioned some of the private education actually offer choices, right, for fulfilling different needs. But at the same time, public education is also important to level the playing field. And so now let's think about continuing on those discussion. Do you think Goldsmith will agree Wilson? Remember Wilson?
No, I think it was just in defining public administration, it was stating that government has to seek for the most efficient way of ensuring public services.
So what do you guys think? Would Goldsmith agree with Woodrow Wilson? Yes? Knocking your head? That's right. So in the process, what are the incentives for him to privatize more government services, according to the case? What are the incentives?
Wants to minimize the public sector to save money, but he can't figure out how much the public services cost.
Right. So one of it is actually to reduce the size of the government, save money from Goldsmith's perspective. Good point. What is the challenge then?
To choose the right services to privatize?
I mean, what I imagine if I were to be the agency of the situation, and for example, my funding got cut because the principal thinks that is the best option.
Now you mentioned a good point, right? If you are the middle manager, right? So there are two different kinds. First, you're cutting down the frontline employees. That's where you outsource. But then you mentioned a good point. It's the middle manager that you facing your funding get cut. So you immediately have to lay out people. Maybe you got to stay in the government, but you're facing dilemma because you have to lay out a lot of people and give those money to the private sector, right? Good point. So that you have identified one group. So the unions, right, are formed by the employees, and then you have the middle managers of all those agencies that are facing outsourcing decisions. What others? What are the agencies? Yes?
The Department of Public Works and the Department of Transportation.
Yes. Excellent. You have the Departments of Public Works and Department of Transportation. What else? All right, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to go around the table. Each one of you can mention any of the point here. What is the mayor's initial goal and promises to his voters? As you mentioned, one of the key stakeholders. We're going to return the blackboard back to you. Group 1, their support for trash pickup. So let's see what are their points.
We obviously said that the mayor should privatize garbage collection first. And the pros of a private sector garbage collection are that politically it's less controversial than privatizing water treatment or street repairs.
And then answering the other groups, we think our sector is more important because it directly affects everyday lives. And then we think this is more important than the others because everybody can pick up their trash. But in this sector, you really need specific technology. And this is like really, really expensive. So by privatizing, you save a lot of money. So we all win.
Now I'm going to give you a chance. Now you have heard all three groups' points, right? The pros and cons. Anyone, don't feel obligated. You're not group mates, right? Anyone want to switch place now? No one want to change your position? All right, that means we need another round of battle. You have to move people at the end. Otherwise, our case discussion will never end, you know.
This is mayor. This is a very easy decision. It's appealing to voters by saying that you're slimming down the government, saving money, and it's just really easy. We're already in a system where it's already half privatized, so why not just kick the can down the road and go all the way?
They can innovate and they can investigate by themselves and then bring the know-how and bring the knowledge that they already have on the sector to our city and make our water waste treatment more efficient.
You guys all did an excellent job. You know the case really well. I'm very impressed the in-depth of the knowledge that you actually were able to present, and you did a really good preparation. Without I asked you to write a memo, so let's give yourself applause. Really good discussion. So good job. Really good.
I think the class discussion really motivates a lot of students, even like shy students that don't really want to participate or maybe are a bit shy. This course varies from other classes I've taken in English. Thanks to the discussion, the group discussion we have, I have other courses. There's just lecture with 80 people in the amphitheater, and you can't really ask a question or debate, even like challenge classmates or a professor's view on something. I had other classes where raising our hand and saying, well, I think this is not really well perceived, whereas here it's really encouraged and you develop a critical sense that it's not always easy in other classes I've had.
那最后呢，我们还有一个活动，就是维基百科。那这个是一个以组别的形式在进行，也就是学生可以选一个他们对于公共行政学有兴趣的主题来进行撰写。那通常我们每堂课也会预留20到30分钟的时间，让他们讨论，以及呢学习资料收集的过程之中，怎么样去收集行政学的相关资料啊，或者是这些资料呢，他们会互相比对，新闻的资料跟学术期刊的资料。 以及政府的数据有什么不同
Last night I just put something on the different groups that you can see on NTU Call. It's just a little bit of an outline. It's nothing sort of that fancy, but just to give you a little bit of an idea about how sort of I imagine that this will sort of end up looking, kind of thing. But I mean, if you want to change around with this, or you feel that something else works better for your page, then that's fine. But in my head, sort of what you want to be doing is just like a normal Wikipedia page, you'll have the summary at the top, maybe a picture, and then your contents, probably just going to be a short content. But after that, you'll probably have some background, and this is going to be the existing situation in Taipei.
As a teaching assistant for this course, I'm in charge of one of the main projects for the course, this Wikipedia assignment, where the students create a Wikipedia page. I usually spend 30 or 40 minutes taking the class each week, where I sort of guide the students in doing the project and helping them with the project. I think the biggest thing that I've gained from being a TA is having experience in direct teaching for large classes. And not just direct teaching, but also teaching for academic purposes. Public administration is a very academic subject, and being able to say that I've taught part of a course at Taiwan is a big thing that I can use in the future.
这堂课带给我最大的成就感，来自于就是我可以在课堂上跟同学就是用英文全英文的方式来讨论。那跟他们讨论的过程中，我也学习到很多关于来自不同背景的人的想法。那我也可以就是更加的有自信的用英文的方式来表达自己的意见。
It made me enjoy a topic I've never thought I'd enjoy, and it opened some possibilities about like masters. Beforehand, I would never thought about like working in public administration, and now I'm more drawn to it. So that's for sure.
那我相信用英语授课，就像我们以前可能。学习英文可能是用中文去学习英文去查字典，对。那如果英语授课的方式，我们可以用英文去学习英文的定义，相关就是 technical term 的定义之后，那我们在英文的逻辑思考上也会变得更快，对。然后也可以增加自己的竞争力和优势。
这一堂课我们会请学生做回馈，那主要有2种方式。那第一个方式就是在每堂课其实都会有学生做这个3分钟反思，所以我们会马上知道学生他今天学习的状况。3、2、1呢，就是他们写下来3个他觉得他学到最重要的事，2个他可以运用的事情，然后1个呢是他还有的问题。那3分钟反思呢，有时候就会让他们也是一样，就是今天我们教了这个公共决策，那公共决策通常它有比较复杂的模型，公共决策模型要介绍给同学，那我就会让他们写下来。今天你对于这模型介绍里面，你印象最深刻的是哪一个？那你有没有办法呢写出来所有的模型？也就是让他们做一些反思。那像这些我们都是把它才是算作实际的参与。另外一个是，其实在期末考的时候，我会用一种方式，就是有一题会问他们说，在众多的题目里面，你最喜欢的题目是什么？那如果你自己可以选一个 topic 的话，你觉得我们这堂课还少了什么 topic？ 那我举例来说，学生他们虽然是大1、大2新生，但是他们在这堂课所吸收的或学习到的方式，他们其实是可以运用，然后知道到哪里找知识。他们就有建议说，我们这堂课应该要多一个这个 diversity。他说，现在好像在公共行政里面有非常多讲这个 diversity 啊 representative 的问题。他说，老师，我们应该要加一堂课是关于这个。所以其实我们都会一直，不论是在课堂中的学习，或整堂课的设计，我都希望学生可以参与其中。能够用英语授课行政学这堂课，其实老师呢是最大的受惠者之一。除了呢英语上面的维持，以及呢可以跟各国的学生做交流，那更重要还有就是也受到学校不论是在这个双语中心呢，还有学校里面的双语政策的一些支持，其实是一个非常好的一个教学的环境还有 support， 所以呢鼓励各位老师呢能够多开英语授课的课程。